Hello, this is Shekhachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Today I am taking up a very offbeat subject, but I think this is a very interesting subject in which you can understand the characteristics of a planet and then go ahead to understand what actually it gives while when it mixes up with other planets like conjunction. So here we all know that one particular signification of sun. I have taken up sun today and with its signification. I'll be doing that for other planets also in detail. So let us go into deep details. Like for example, I have taken up only one particular signification of sun, which is jewelry, ornaments. You know, so because sun has the signification of representing metals, dhatu, and also it represents the minerals also. That is why I am telling dhatu. So it represents all those fine elements which actually make a metal into an artifact or into a jewelry. So you should now there are different processes involved in making jewelry. It is not that jewelry is just like that. It doesn't just like that come out. In nature, you are it's not readily available. So these processes are what actually those are the processes which are actually defining the differences between the combination of sun with several other planets. Like for example, I have now first example what I am taking now is defining that is sun and Mars. We have done this particular combination. I have done sun and Mars. I will put that in the end screen. You can get the particular detailed explanation of what actually sun and Mars gives. But here I am using it only for defining what sort of an artifact or what sort of jewelry industry does sun and Mars represent. So we know that sun is heat, the temperature, very high temperature. Anything that melts, anything that burns, anything that goes through scalding, goes through scorching heat. This is what is sun. So that is nothing but heat, in different levels, temperature. Mars is also heat, but here it is generated when friction happens. So sun heat happens because of that fusion and fission reaction. You burn something when there is fire and you get the flame and then you get the heat. That is different heat. It is not because of friction. It is because of molecular fusion or fission. So here the Mars very clearly represents sound. Mars is also for sound. Going a little deviation from this particular subject, Mars is for the ear. As Jupiter is also for the ear. Jupiter is what you listen and Mars is what you hear. So the operational organ which is the eardrum and all the lobes and all that, the vibration and how it goes and collect, how you hear the sound is because of Mars. And if Mars is weak in a chart, your eardrums are weak in the body. So let us now come back to the main point. Mars is actually where factories or where you have industry where you make sound, like a grinding machine, you have a cutting machine, you have a polishing machine, you have machines where it actually hits, punches, coins. You have this forging. All these things happen with lot of sound and noise. Smelting. Now I am coming really to the combination of Mars and Sun. Smelting, where you actually melt the material, the metal, alloys, and then pour it into a cast where you have a die and then take that and polish it into a given shape, and that is an artifact. So, where heat is used, where machines are used, where force is used, where it gives out sound, this is a place where people are preparing or manufacturing artifacts. Like, for example, you are manufacturing candles. Candles are also source of light, but the manufacturing thing, you have artistic candles nowadays, ornamental candles. Even for ambience, you keep beautiful candle. The candlelit dinner, which is so beautiful, it attracts. It gives up the ambience of attraction, the cherishma, the light, the beautiful amber light. What you get, that orangish, yellowish light. So you can create different types of light by using different type of candles, and that is also the industry which comes under Sun and Mars, because fuel, fire, and it's burnt, and this has been manufactured in an industry where they smelt the wax. They melt the wax and they put the wick, they put it into the dyes. It's a huge industry. It's a regular 24/7 industry with all three shifts. Women are employed there because it's not a very heavy industry, and they get that daily wages kind of a thing. Not daily wages, they get regular wages also. So, but this is it's a very very strong and fast growing industry. You also see, I am talking about jewelry and also ornaments and also those objects which are used to create an ambience. When you go to a resort, why do you like a resort? Because they have created the ambience. It's not a house, it's a resort. So you get paintings, you have lighting, you have beautiful waterfalls, waterways, bridges, flowers, gardens, music, that dim lights, painted walls, you have those rustic beauty. This is a resort. So why do you feel good? That feel good factor is what I am trying to explain. It's not only about jewelry. So idols, melting and smelting and then putting it into the dye and then polishing it, you can get very good idols, artistic idols, where you can keep it as a showpiece. Even idols for puja in the puja mandir, that also is because of Sun and Mars. Metal craft. One should understand there are different metal crafts here. Once again, there are different metal crafts in different levels of planetary combinations. Here, this metal craft is more with copper, bronze, or more of brass. These metal crafts, bell metal. These things are used for making good, ornamental pieces. So this is the Sun-Mars combination. So going ahead, I did not go too deep into it, but anyway, decorative vases, side stands, so many things. I'll tell you, people have been wearing all sorts of metals as jewelry. Today, people wear less metal, more of noble metals like gold and silver for jewelry. But earlier days, people would wear copper plates, people would wear bronze. In the Bronze Age, they would wear bronze with the, uh, jade, they would wear it with opal, they would wear it with many other diamonds, they would wear it on bronze plates only. Bronze was used as the main metal in the Bronze Age. So copper age, Bronze Age. So these people as they evolved, they started doing it in different ways. So this is for Sun and Mars. So we have Sun and Rahu now. So Sun and Rahu, you get very different. Rahu is uh, Dhumra Varna. Dhumra. Dhumra is that grayish, muddish, grayish color. So you have that ashy brown. So it's also the color of ecru. Ecru is the color of earth. So you get earthenware, you get earthen jewelry, you get earthen utensils, you get the clay jewelry, clay artifacts. You have mud, earth, and metal mixed together. You get beautiful, ceramic jewelries. You have ceramic plates. You have wall hangers. You have beautifully painted ceramic ware, earthenware. This is one of the fastest growing industry now, and Rahu and Sun can give fantastic artifacts for beautification for house surroundings, terracotta, which has been used. Terracotta is the beautiful earthenware, which is the clay earthenware, like the terracotta horses. You have the terracotta earthen pots. Fantastic. This is a big industry by itself. You have nowadays everything becomes a showpiece, even without using chemical paints. People use regular colors. They are doing fantastic work with terracotta, that is clay and mud, and even ceramics. All this which goes through heat, because sun is heat and Rahu represents all the silicon, graphite, quartz, all that you get out of earth. Most of them, not everything, because everything that is mined cannot be called as Rahu, but the mining, the earth and the mining industry comes under sun. So if people think that it is something else, no, it comes under sun, because you are mining and you are trying to segregate the material from the mud, the mud or whatever you get. So you are trying to segregate the iron ore, or you are going to segregate so many things. So all the things like aluminium, copper, so many things you get out of earth. Mother Earth is the provider; it gives everything to us. So this is how we need to classify jewelry. Even earthen jewelry is now catching up speed, because earlier days, even I am talking about the Harappa Mohenjo-daro time period, when earthen jewelry was having very high requirement. People would wear their nameplates, they would even wear heavy, beautifully carved and punched, engraved, what we call earthen clay heated tablets, that was actually even used for writing agreements. So try to understand that this is how you define an artifact, or this is how you define a planetary combination. So going now to another combination of sun and moon. Since this is going to take a long time period, I am going to short close it only for three combinations of planets: Sun, Mars. I have finished Sun, Rahu, and now Sun, Moon. Melting and solidifying materials like even candles come under Sun and Moon also. Candle stands and all these things would come in Sun, Rahu, Mars, but because the factory comes under Sun, Mars, the product comes under Sun and Moon. Try to understand this. So the product comes under Sun and Moon because that what has been used in it is for light. This is a luminary. So candles as a product, as when you buy it, it is sun and moon. Why? Because it gives you artificial light. But artificial in the sense that it is real flame and it gives you as good as the same light what sun gives you, but still it is under your control. You can voluntarily keep it wherever you want. You can't do it with the sun. So sun and moon, when they come together, you get all sorts of beautiful lighting like the LED lights. These industries, which are also industries, having ornamental, classified lights, which are ornamental lights. You go to the showroom, you'll understand that the normal lights are not the only lights. You get chandeliers, you get so many things in LED nowadays. So you get diyas, you get silver metal, jewelry which is also coming under sun and moon. When silver is represented by moon, but heating it, melting it, and putting it into a shape, bringing it into a shape, beating it down into shape. These are all sun, Mars, and moon together. So this is the jewelry of silver, and also you can understand moon represents the dental thing, danta, the teeth. Sun represents the bones. People have been using bone and teeth as jewelry from eons, lot number of years. You can see from many years, not even today, people use pearl. What is pearl? It is nothing but a waste byproduct of an animal, a clam, in water. You use it and polish it and you put it on your neck. How can you do it? I am against it, but still, it comes under sun and moon. Ivory inlay, which is totally banned. I don't know why people do it, but they were doing it. It is still running, which is actually wrong. We are not supposed to kill an elephant to have an artifact. Inlay ivory, that also comes under sun and moon, and now people are somehow trying to, they when the buying stops, the killing stops. Please try to understand this. We are not supposed to buy anything in ivory. I am an environmentalist. I am totally against all this nonsense. So please try to vouch and voice against this. We need our wildlife, around us. But I am trying to tell you where actually this thing is fitting. So bones, you can see again, bones are used in lot of many places. So it has been happening from many years. Conches, cowries are those shells, seashells. All these have been animal remains. What I tell about the bones and the teeth. Sun is the bone and moon is the teeth. So people have been using all these things as artifacts. From many ages they have been using these as artifacts. People have been using fingernails as artifacts. People have been using, the claw. People have been using claws as artifacts. Why they kill and they use it, but just defining this, what is right and what is wrong, we are not discussing today. Let us not do that. But they have been using this, and this comes under the combination of sun and moon. So we are now today discussing about the manufacturing of jewelry and artifacts and other beautification, or let us say things which are used as for ambience. One thing I forgot when I was when I was discussing about Sun and Rahu is those artifacts. You go to the museum, you can see all sorts of tobacco pipes, powders, hookahs, all those things. These are all, once again, you can see in the museums. They have extraordinary. People have got the extraordinary lens to smoke tobacco. So those holders, the hookah, the big ones, all are coming under sun and Rahu. It generates heat and gives out smoke, sun and Rahu. So thank you very much for today's class. I hope I have done a very offbeat class, but still I think this is required. Thank you very much.